you elaborate that? You said that first-time founders could be just as good as second-time founders. What does that mean exactly?
It's a common adage in the startup world that investors will always question themselves with a person who's a first-time founder. But if they've already attempted to find, even if the business was a complete failure, if they're a second-time founder, the investment is always more secure. And that's because the learnings you make as you build a business, whether it fails or goes IPO or whatever, is so significant that you are such a better founder the second time round. And so what I'm really trying to do is take all the learnings I've made from the failures I've made over the last 2 years of building a business to try and motivate and inspire others to build businesses, but also to build them better and the process better than I did. So try and make them essentially second-time founders using the mistakes I made as a first-time founder, even though they're first-time founders.
How would they be able to do that?
I think it's about networks and having personalized advice. I think a lot of the content and advice on social media is very generalized. Like, for example, I had a phone call just before coming here. He was an anaesthetist in Sydney. And he said, hey, I have this idea. I don't know what the next step is. And I was pretty easy to say, hey, look, your next steps need to be set up a business, get a business bank account, start creating a waitlist, start telling people about your idea and seeing what they say. And he hadn't thought about that. He'd been sitting on this idea for 6 months and he was like, I didn't know the next step. And it's like something so easy for me, like that would be the next steps no matter what. And he was like, oh, I didn't know I could talk about my idea because I'm scared other people are going to steal it. And I was like, you have to talk about it at some point. And he's like, yeah, but I don't have a product or a website. I said, yeah, but you can create a wait list. You don't have to have something to show them. You can say, hey, this is what I want to build. If you want to stay up to date, come join. And then when the product launches, you have 100, 200, 500, 1,000 people ready to go. All these things I didn't do. They're all the errors I made. I didn't have a wait list. So I was already 6 months to a year behind when we started. If I started building a wait list, my company would be so much further ahead. So things like that. I mean, practical one-on-one advice that's relevant to the individual, relevant to their business, I think is really effective.